How's it going? Mile High 6 here, back again with a new video. The Denver Broncos pull off the W against the New England Patriots, 18 to 12. The War of 1812 right here. The Patriots, trying to fight off the British and all that stuff. Yeah, you know what I mean. All right, so this game, I could just do a little like a recap. Like this game was low scoring, field goals, defensive game, and I liked it because the Broncos really the only way they can win is their defense bails out the team, pretty much. Um, and this penalty free really. Couple penalties, one holding against New England, and then one what's it called? One catch interference, whatever, against the Broncos. They hit him before when he called a fair catch. That was bad. I think it cost us like gave him a field goal. Um, looking at this game, pretty entertaining to watch, pretty stressful for me, but we got the job done, and that's really that matters. Um, first quarter, Broncos kick a couple field goals. Um, the next quarter, Broncos kicking a couple field goals. New England, and then it's 12-3 at halftime, and then the Broncos kick a couple field goals, and then it's 18 to 3 18-3 at the end of the third quarter, and then New England scores a nice rushing touchdown. New England scores a nice rushing touchdown from Cam Newton. They go for two, and then a good old friend, Sylvester Williams, a Super Bowl 50 champion, a former first-round pick, stops Cam Newton at the track, hold him to 6, and it's 18-9. Oh wait, yeah, 18-9, and then Patriots kick a field goal off of a Drew Lock pick, and then Drew Lock throws another pick, and then we stop them. And that's the game really. Broncos win because of this defense being very clutch. You look at Drew Lock, he didn't do that well. He like looking at it, he didn't do that well, but he moved the ball. He looked like a starting quarterback in the NFL, and we haven't seen that since week one, for God's sake. So he moved the ball well. Yes, he threw a couple picks. One of them was tipped by Tim Patrick, and Tim Patrick, we're not asking him to make athletic catches because he's not a superstar receiver, but he's becoming a good receiver in the league, and I'm happy for it. So that's Drew Lock. The running game, Philip Lindsay, he's our starting running back. I don't care about Gordon. Gordon's nobody to me. Okay, Philip Lindsay is our starting running back. Gordon is our backup. Gordon is a drunk. Gordon shouldn't be paid that much money. He's overpaid. But I think he had a good game, Philip Lindsay. Yes, he didn't get a touchdown, but he doesn't fumble like Gordon, and he gets explosive plays and gets momentum. The Broncos. Royce Freeman, he does his job. He's good at short yard situations, and he can gain, and he's a big back. So there you go. And Devontae Spencer had a nice toss play and gained us 9. Hopefully he's okay. He was hurt. Through the air, Tim Patrick 101 yards. What's new? He's getting the deep balls all the time. Good luck, threading the needle sometimes. That's pretty cool. Ojemudia, 2 receptions, 45 yards. I wish he got that touchdown, man. He dropped a couple. One was like on target. Locke threw him Locke gave him chances to catch the ball, but it's his first game really. I'm not gonna harp on him that much. Jerry Jeudy 2 receptions, 32 yards, terrible for my fantasy, but we have to get him going next game because this is the first time he hasn't had 50 yards in a game this year. Nick Vannett 7 yards and Royce Freeman 4 yards, and Spencer and Hamilton didn't do jack. Hamilton sucks. All right. Drew Lock fumbled once. It was a terrible snap count by Lock. Luckily he fell on it and recovered it. Now Broncos defense. Alexander Johnson, he has to improve in the missed tackles. He sucks. He sucked today. Justin Simmons played very well. Michael Ojemudia, he's doing God's work. He's doing pretty well. Oh yeah, yeah. I just rewatched that. You should have caught that. He's doing pretty well. Kareem Jackson playing pretty solid. He had a nice hit on James White. Juicy Joe had a sack and a half after that fumble, like that botch snap, so he had half a sack, I think. Malik Reed 2 sacks, man, he had a clutch sack, forcing a third and long. Bradley Chubb a sack and a half and a forced fumble, so he had a strip sack and a sack and a half. Anthony Chickalo had a sack, former Steeler. So we were we were getting sacks today. 4 combined sacks. Really. Oh wait, yeah, Chickalo had a sack. Chubb had a sack. Oh, only 4 sacks. Oh my god, tackle for loss. Okay. Well, tackle for loss is pretty good too. So I thought that was sacks. I couldn't read. And then Deshaun Williams had his first ever interception as a defensive tackle, and that was pretty good. It was tipped by who else? Shelby Harris, the clutchest man on the Broncos, and then Bryce Callahan had a nice pick. Tipped by Justin Simmons, who I think is the defensive player of the game. And then the return, Spence got hurt, so they had to put Cleveland in return. And it didn't really. Special teams wasn't good until this man Brandon McManus. He's the best kicker in Broncos history. He's done so much for this team over the years, and he's doing more. Thank God we re-signed him early in the year. He deserves. I mean, before the season starts, he deserves it, and he's one of the best. And I'm happy that he's our kicker. And who had did show the forced fumble? Yeah, Justin Simmons had a forced fumble. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty good. So New England, Cam Newton, 157 yards passing, 2 picks. Again, Callahan and Deshaun Williams. Both were tips, so it wasn't really directly to the player, but it was just good work by our defense. Julian Edelman had 2 passes for 38 yards, both to Cam Newton. Julian Edelman is like that. That's embarrassing, really. We gotta work on that, but that's Belichick shit. No one's ever gonna try that. Cam Newton, 76 yards, 1 touchdown. When he runs the ball, Cam Newton is solid, but they're trying to make him a pocket passer, and he just sucks against us when he's a pocket passer. Harris, 19 yards. Burkett, 14 yards. They killed James White, especially Kareem Jackson. So James White didn't do that good on the run. On the passing, they dumped it to him. He gained yards. Bride, 38 yards. Rizzo, he fumbled against what the fuck? Against Justin Simmons. Cam Newton had a 16-yard receiver. Isaiah Zuber, 16 yards. And Demonte Harris, 14 yards. Julian Edelman, 8 yards. Didn't do that good, except through the passing. He did okay. Their defense, 0.5 sack for Bellati. Simon has a sack. Shaquille has half a sack, so that was 2 sacks today for them. And J.C. Jackson had that pick on the side that he gained 30 yards to put him in field goal range. They scored a field goal on that. And Jonathan Jones had that nice deep pick, that was tipped. And their kicker, Folk had 2 field goals. So, looking at this game, Broncos offense has to improve in the red zone. They have to find ways. They didn't really give the ball to Lindsey. He was getting stuffed, so that kind of sucked. In the red zone, so maybe we could have used I think we should have used Royce because he's a bigger body and he can get through, or Gordon next week. He's bigger than Lindsey, so he can get through them even though he sucks. Yeah, so we need to get points when we're playing Kansas City. Our defense kind of going to get better because we're going to get Bryce back. I think our corner depth is very solid this year. Last year's corner depth was terrible, so we already improved in the corner department. Yeah, so this was a good game against a good team. The Patriots are a good team, okay? It doesn't matter if they have injuries. To the O-line, we were banged up as well. You can't the announcers would keep saying that the Patriots were banged up, but they didn't talk about the Broncos not having their best receiver and their leader on defense. So they can't really talk, and they can't really use excuses. This was a nice defensive game, and you know what? The Broncos, they prevailed. They pulled it off. They should have been a little bit higher scoring for the Broncos. They shouldn't have stalled. They should have at least gotten at least one touchdown. If they had one touchdown on the board, this game wouldn't this game wouldn't have been down to the wire, really. But it is what it is. Um, I'm sure they're gonna tweak some stuff. Drew Lock, this is just his first game back after a shoulder injury. He's back. He's looking fine. Um, Tim Patrick's looking good. They're looking good. And yeah, and for New England, they play San Francisco. That's gonna be an exciting game. Jimmy G taking on his old team. That's gonna be pretty cool to watch. Um, and yeah, we're going on to Kansas. We're playing Kansas City. I don't know if it's at home or on the road. I'll check when I do the preview video or whatever. But yeah, I just can't wait to see um, what's going on for this team. I don't really think this team. I think can they make the playoffs? Like like probably a 9-7 record at best, 8-8, like 7-9 at worst, like the same record as last year. But it's still a long season to go. This team is going through the grind, and it's a learning year, like a gel year really, because of the injuries. But I just can't wait to see what goes forward. Yeah. Other than that, Marcus, peace. Have a good day, and go Broncos, man. Like they impressed me today, and I also picked them to win. Ha 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 ha.